Next on Worcester News Tonight, will the silent protest during the national anthem continue? We'll show you what happened at tonight's Doherty High School football game. Plus, Worcester gets tough on water restrictions, what it could cost you if you're caught. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Andy Madison. A large crowd at tonight's Doherty High School football game, and most of the attention on what would happen during the national anthem. Last weekend, Doherty High School football player Michael Opong took a knee during the national anthem to protest racial injustice, following in the footsteps of NFL players and other athletes who have done the same recently. At tonight's game, Opong did the same during the anthem. As you see there, 3 teammates joined him. Most of the players stood for the anthem, as you can see on the left there, with locked arms. An announcement was made by the school superintendent before the anthem, reminding people to demonstrate peacefully during the anthem. They weren't going to stand. Some people from the crowd cheered when the 4 players took a knee at the start of the anthem. Well, according to the National Weather Service, about half of Worcester County and the entire city is in an extreme drought. Restrictions for outdoor water use are in place, and as our Olivia Lemon shows us, could be costly for residents caught violating these restrictions.
According to new data from the U.S. Drought Monitor, most of Worcester County is in an extreme drought.
We've had a very beautiful summer, but a very dry summer. And now it's leading to conditions that are depleting our water supplies.
Lieutenant Governor Karen Polito says the administration is offering aid to affected businesses. And here in the city, a Stage 3 drought emergency was announced last week. DPW Commissioner Paul Musi says residents can be fined up to $300 a day if they do not follow restrictions prohibiting outdoor water use.
To date, people have been cooperating, even they may not have known or whatever reason, but we've got cooperation. We haven't had to go back a second time, at least as of today, on anybody that I'm aware of.
Musi says DPW crews are checking to make sure people are complying with the restrictions. Crews are also responding to calls made by residents who may notice someone not following the rules.
People calling and saying, gee, I see, this field is being watered, so we follow up on every one of those complaints.
Musi says the city hasn't issued any fines yet, but it's important for residents to know the restrictions in place and understand how severe the drought is.
Making sure that, I'm helping the situation by not using more water.
Everybody should be aware and to definitely not be watering your lawns. That's absolutely ridiculous. And like I said, I've seen several people be doing that, so I will report it, definitely.
Meanwhile, many are hoping for significant rainfall sometime soon.
We need, many rainstorms over, many months really to fill the reservoirs, or we'll go into next year, even drier than we went into this year.
Olivia Lemon, Worcester News Tonight.
Worcester moved to a level 3 drought emergency last week. Today, Governor Charlie Baker signed a bill aimed at reducing the state's greenhouse gas emissions. The executive order is part of a global climate change initiative. It will also safeguard residents from the impacts of climate change. Last month, Governor Baker signed a separate bill meant to ramp up renewable energy in the Commonwealth. 7 people are facing drug-related charges after members of the Worcester Police Vice Squad execute a warrant in the city on Thursday. Officers entered an apartment on Plain Street around 6 last night. They observed someone throw a bag containing bags of crack cocaine and heroin out a window. They then conducted a search of the apartment and recovered an additional 16 grams of cocaine packaged for sale, along with digital scales and packaging materials. Some staggering statistics about the opioid crisis in the state. Between 2013 and 2014, health officials say illegally obtained drugs killed more than 2,000 people in Massachusetts. The study found 85% of people died from overdoses had used either heroin or fentanyl. Only about 8% of those victims had a prescription for an opioid. The report also says people recently released from prison are 50 times more likely to die from an overdose than the general public. A Worcester company helping biomedical companies gets a big assist from the Small Business Administration. Massachusetts Biomedical Initiatives received a $50,000 check. Representative Jim McGovern was on hand with members of the SBA to present the company with the check. MBI is an economic development organization that helps create jobs with biotechnology and biomanufacturing field. We spoke with the company's chief operating officer, who was thrilled about receiving the money, adding it will go towards operations.
So the MBI nonprofit mission wouldn't be possible without this type of help. So to be recognized by SBA and kind of shown as a leader in this, we're thrilled, we're honored, and really very much privileged.
We need to support this kind of research, and we need to encourage people who have an interest to go into this field. And one of the ways we can encourage it is to support initiatives like MBI, which provide infrastructure.
Today's announcement also included a tour of the facility in Worcester. Well, Worcester Business Development Corporation was also named the developer for a new biomanufacturing site in the city. Earlier today, Lieutenant Governor Karen Polito, alongside city and state officials, made the announcement at the site of the old Worcester Hospital. WBDC CEO Craig Blaze says this new project will eventually provide 50,000 square feet of manufacturing space and up to 500 jobs. He says the next year or two will be spent dealing with permitting and infrastructure, but he expects their first tenant will be on site within 30 months.
There's a great workforce with all the colleges and universities. It has the biotechnology infrastructure here with the 1 million square feet of R&D space in the biotechnology park, and also the research and development and the importance of the University of Massachusetts Medical School.
Blaze says the old Worcester Hospital site has been vacant for about 3 years. A new innovation in health and wellness comes to Worcester. Whole body cryotherapy advertises a range of benefits, but some doctors here are not sure how it really works. Our Brittany Schaefer got a closer look today and breaks it all down for us.
It's a new trend in health and beauty. Whole body cryotherapy involves putting your body into negative 240-degree temperatures.
It's not as painful as putting an ice pack on or an ice bath. It goes through the surface of the skin, so you get in your whole body in less time.
It's not something I would recommend.
Whole body cryotherapy touts a range of health benefits, but some doctors dispute whether it really works.
There are risks involved with all this, and this has not been studied extensively, and it probably should be.
Before using the machine, customers must sign a waiver, go through their medical history, and have their blood pressure taken. Whole body cryotherapy can reach up to negative 250 degrees, but only lasts 3 minutes.
A lot of questions have to do with heart-related. So if you have a recent heart attack or recent strokes, uncontrolled high blood pressure, things like that, pacemakers, you're not going in there.
I think that's a dangerous temperature where direct skin contact, if that were to occur, could cause frostbite.
Salon 101 owner Amy Grady says the service is most often used for sports recovery to help with sore muscles and inflammation. She says it can also have benefits like boosting energy, reducing cellulite, and helping depression.
My sciatic pains was gone. I actually felt skinny, like definitely tighter on the skin, and I slept the best I've probably slept in a long time.
Grady says cryotherapy is a painless service, and since getting the chamber last week, the response has been positive.
I'm excited. I want to bring this to Worcester.
Brittany Schaefer,